So I started Daygame in around 2014, and I had kind of like the main sort of struggles that a lot of guys get, when they're starting out. So, the typical thing, obviously, being able to approach, so managing the anxiety was a big thing. But also other stuff as well, like, having really short conversations, sort of one-dimensional conversations, etc. But in spite of that, I did get some early success. So I did manage to get some numbers, go out on a few dates in the early days. And so kind of my perspective was like, fucking hell, this is amazing. I can't believe this. This is amazing. I still knew that I had a lot of stuff to improve on. But I knew that the potential was just incredible, moving forward. Like once I actually get better at this, like fuck, this could be really good. But after that point, I'd say for like at least the first year, possibly even 2 years of my day game journey, I was just getting loads and loads of flakes. Like almost every number that I got would flake on me. Didn't go anywhere near as many dates as I would have liked to, and I wasn't really converting the numbers that I was getting into dates, which was quite frustrating. I think potentially that frustration was coming across and probably did contribute to girls actually flaking on me or whatever. But yeah, generally speaking, if I don't like to kind of get too deep on statistics and expectations and stuff like that, but if you get like maybe like 5 numbers for a relatively decent to advanced level guy, you should be maybe getting like 1 or 2 of them out on a date, really. Normally you can just tell, like normally you can tell from the interaction. Is she investing? Does she care? Does she actually giving you the vibe that she actually wants to potentially meet you again? You can normally tell that stuff when you're a bit more advanced. I couldn't tell that stuff, when I was starting out. Didn't have a clue. I was just like, oh great, got the number, okay, fantastic, she should come out on a date with me. But it just doesn't work like that. Many times girls give out numbers to be nice or because they feel like you deserve it in the moment. It's like, yeah, it's the thing, it's the right course of action in the moment, but then afterwards they're like, hang on a minute, do I actually want to go out on a date with this guy? Do I actually want to meet him again? They have to kind of make that decision. But yeah, so there's kind of a number of reasons why girls flake in general. Ultimately it's a value proposition. So like partly it's circumstantial as well. Like she just might not be available. She might just whatever. She might have bad logistics or too busy. Whatever. It could be that stuff. Maybe she's kind of seeing someone and she kind of wants to carry on seeing someone. Whatever. Stuff that's outside of your control. But there are certainly things that are within your control that do contribute to getting more flakes than you should otherwise get. So in my case, a large part of it was that I was very, very outcome dependent. So I was a bit frustrated in some ways about my lack of conversions and my lack of results. And when you are too results orientated, it's a bit of a vicious circle because it comes across in your interactions. The girls can pick up on it. They can get that sense from you. They can sense that, oh, he's so like just wants that one thing. They're very, very perceptive about that. Whereas, later on in my day game journey, once I started caring less and just being whatever about it, girls found that far more attractive, and it kind of puts them at ease a lot more as well. Whereas when you're out to get something, it's just like, it's unattractive, but it's also a little bit needy. It's a little bit like odd, it's a bit like this guy wants something, he needs something from me. It's unappealing, so that was one factor. Other stuff as well. So like I was kind of going in with a bit of a robotic vibe. A lot of the time it was just like, yep, just go in, give the compliment, do the thing, ask the questions, and then it's just like rinse and repeat, that kind of mentality. And it's just too one-dimensional. You're not actually connecting with the person. You're just going in there, just asking the questions, just for the sake of asking the questions, or because you feel like you need to ask the questions. But where's the actual connection being built? What are you actually doing with the information you receive? Are you actually having that sort of back and forth with her? Are you actually having that dance within the conversation? Are you actually having that back and forth where she's investing, you're actually having fun with the conversation, being playful, spiking emotions, etc.? You know, that stuff, I wasn't doing that stuff at all. You know, I was just having like very basic conversations. Yeah, just kind of like just saying the stuff just for the sake of saying the stuff, not really connecting, you know. And girls just would pick up on that, you know, and it just felt a bit routine as well, as if like just robotic, as if like, oh, I'm just another girl he's asking these questions to, you know. It's just like, oh, he's probably done this same fucking routine to like, you know, 20 other girls this week, you know. And like I said, I mean, girls are very perceptive about this sort of stuff. When you go into an interaction, it should feel authentic. It should feel like it's just a spur of the moment thing, and it's not like routine, and it's not planned, and there's a little bit of fucking up somewhere, you know, along the way. That's actually a good thing, you know. It just needs to feel authentic, and I just wasn't getting that across, basically. Other stuff as well, like short interactions. You know, I was just having like, you know, just short sort of like 1 or 2 minute interactions. It's hard to really connect when you have a really short conversation. You know, she should ideally know a bit about you. You obviously need to know about her. You need to kind of get information from her, but then take that information and create something more powerful from it. Because obviously, you know, if you stop a girl and you're like, oh, hey, what are you up to? You know, most of the time you're just going to get some boring answer. Like, oh, I'm just going shopping, or I'm just going to go meet my friends. And I'm, oh, okay, cool. And then you just move on to something else. But instead of just doing that, why don't you just like create something more interesting out of that narrative, or create your own narrative based on that? You know, that is how you can really have a much more powerful conversation, and therefore more powerful connection with the girl. You know, and I wasn't doing that. You know, I just wasn't doing that. Yeah, I would say like the main two reasons why I was getting so many flakes in my first year of Daygame was the fact that I was too outcome dependent, and I was a little bit frustrated about that, and the girls would pick up on that. Like I was just out to get that one thing, just, oh, I just need to go just ask a bunch of questions. Okay, I've done that now. Okay, tick that box. Okay, now just ask for her number. Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, that'll do. It's too mediocre. It's too average, you know, because I was going for the hottest girls, you know, the hottest girls in London. You need a bit more than that. You know, sometimes it's good enough just to find the right girl in the right place at the right time and just show up, you know, and just get her, ask a few questions, get her number. But then what's the actual value proposition there? All it is just kind of your confidence and your looks. But to really get the girls who are like top tier, then you need a little bit extra, you know. You need to actually connect with them. You actually need to spike their emotions, etc. And a lot of other guys are doing that as well. They're already doing that, you know. An attractive girl, she goes out at night, she probably gets hit on by other guys who are also confident, who are probably better looking than you, you know. So it's like, you know, there has to be a value proposition there in order for her to give you that chance. So yeah, so there was that, and then of course just like short interactions, just saying stuff just for the sake of saying stuff, bit robotic, just like, you know, input, output, just expecting something to happen from that. Just, it doesn't work really like that. It's a mentality where you need to just really try and connect with the girl, but not care too much about doing so. It's all about finding that right balance, you know, to actually get success from this. But ultimately, you know, why do girls flake? It's a value proposition. You know, assuming that she's available, logistically and relationship-wise. In other words, you know, she lives there and she's available for dating. She's on the market, so to speak. You know, and, you know, if she's not wanting to see you, then it's ultimately a value proposition where you just haven't done quite enough in order to want her to actually meet you. Sometimes there's other stuff out of your control. You know, the girl could reject you for your height, could reject you for your looks, your fashion. Well, fashion is within your control, but you know, it could be some stuff outside of your control, like your height, for example. But you know, when you're actually focusing on girls who are rejecting you for things actually within your control. That's what you're trying to sort of optimize, when it comes to this whole thing. Also, another reason was that I was spending the majority of my time approaching on Oxford Street, which is difficult, to put it mildly. And I was, it's like, I was very sort of picky, only going for like the top tier girls, and also doing it on Oxford Street, which a little bit of a mistake in hindsight, because although it's not like you can't do it on Oxford Street, and this was kind of back in the day as well, there was a lot of quality, there's a lot of girls to approach there, but obviously a lot of other day gamers, and like it's not the best vibe in general. It's good to sort of diversify the places you're approaching as well. You spend all your time only approaching girls walking on Oxford Street. It's just like, I think that's a little bit of a mistake. It's good to go to other areas where it's a bit more chill, just other areas. And I think that also contributed to the fact that I was very robotic in my interactions, because just in the same place, going up and down the same street, constantly, I was in that sort of like just mechanical mindset, and it's just not conducive to like that powerful connection, powerful conversation building that you're trying to do. I mean, if you're a beginner guy, you don't need to worry too much about this at this point, if you're literally just trying to get into Daygame, because it's more about just getting comfortable with actually just approaching. That's always the first step. But this is more for guys who are like sort of like that sort of beginner level, who want to get more into that sort of intermediate level. Really, it's about actually thinking, right, okay, how can I actually get into a proper conversation with this person?
Cheers for watching. If you'd be interested in one-to-one coaching with me, where we'll go out in public and work on your approaching girls, or more generally with your social confidence, please visit my website ed-game.com.